Have you ever wondered why some people just seem to attract money while others, no matter how hard they work, always end up broke? You save, you hustle, you cut back, but your wallet still feels empty. What if the problem isn't how much you earn, but how you think about money? Because what's quietly keeping most people poor isn't lack of effort, it's lack of ancient wisdom. In this video, we're diving into one of the most powerful financial books ever written, The Richest Man in Babylon by George S. Clason. It's not a boring finance manual. It's a collection of ancient parables told through the lives of merchants, debtors, and kings that unlock the secrets of building lasting wealth. You'll discover simple yet life-changing money rules that helped ordinary people go from broke to rich. Rules so timeless, they still apply today in 2025. This book doesn't teach get-rich-quick tricks. It teaches you how to keep your money, grow it, and make it work for you. You'll learn why paying yourself first is the key to financial freedom, how debt can be a silent thief, and how to multiply your income without burning out. Let's begin with the first parable, the man who learned to fatten his purse, even when life gave him nothing. Chapter 1. The Man Who Desired Gold. Let me tell you a story, not about Wall Street, not about some billionaire tech founder, but about a simple man named Dabisier, a chariot builder in ancient Babylon. He worked hard, day in, day out. His hands were calloused, his back sore, but his wallet empty. Sound familiar? Dabisier represents so many of us today, people who are skilled, dedicated, and honest, yet constantly find themselves broke before the month ends. In Babylon, Dabisier sat on the wall, staring at his half-finished chariot, wondering why, despite all his labor, he had no gold to show for it. He wasn't lazy, he wasn't foolish, he was just financially untrained. Now let's bring that forward to today. You're a freelancer, a small business owner, a 9-to-5 worker, maybe even working 2 jobs, and still, you can't save. You want to invest. But every month ends with you saying, next month I'll start saving. Next month I'll get ahead. But next month never comes. Like Dabisier, you've mastered your craft, but not the art of managing money. That's the difference between hard workers who stay broke and the rich. Dabisier wasn't content to complain. He and his friend Kabi, a musician, decided to seek answers. They went to their childhood friend Arcad, the richest man in Babylon. Not because he was lucky, not because he inherited wealth, but because he had learned how money works. And this, my friend, is where everything changes. Because when you shift from just earning to understanding, your entire life begins to transform. Arcad told them plainly, I found the road to wealth when I decided that I would not rest until I had learned the laws that govern it. He didn't wait for a miracle. He asked questions, studied the habits of the wealthy, and applied what he learned over and over. So ask yourself right now, have you truly decided to become financially free? Or are you just hoping things will get better? Because hope isn't a strategy, learning is. Let's say 2 people earn $2,000 per month. One is an Uber driver who spends every dollar as soon as it hits the account. The other is a part-time content creator who automatically saves 10%, reinvests into better gear, and watches free financial courses at night. In 2 years, the driver is still grinding 10 hours a day. The creator? She's monetized her audience and has passive income flowing in, not because of luck, but because of simple, intentional actions repeated consistently. That's Arcad's way. Arcad says, gold slips away from the man who invests it in businesses or purposes with which he is not familiar. Translation? Don't chase quick money. You don't need crypto you don't understand. You don't need to throw cash into the newest trend because TikTok said so. What you need is financial wisdom and clarity. Start small. Know what you're doing and build brick by brick. Challenge for you. like Arkad gave to Banser. This week, track every dollar that enters or leaves your hands. Write it down. See where your money actually goes. That's your mirror. Because awareness is the first step to mastery. Banser started poor, but he became wealthy because he stopped running blind and started learning. So can you. Working hard isn't enough if you don't work smart with your money. Financial education is the foundation of wealth. Learn before you earn. Track before you invest. Ask for wisdom like Banser and Kabi did, and apply it like Arkad. Chapter 2. The 7 Cures for a Lean Purse. So you're broke. And maybe you're tired of pretending that everything's fine. You work hard, you hustle, but your purse, or in today's world, your bank account is lean. Not empty, just never full, never secure, never enough. Arkad understood this struggle because he lived it, but he also knew how to fix it. That's why the king of Babylon invited him to speak before a crowd of struggling citizens, ordinary people like you and me, to teach them how to fatten their purses. And Arkad didn't give motivational quotes. He gave a step-by-step formula. 7 simple cures, principles that if applied with discipline, could turn a broke man into a wealthy one. Let's break them down with real-world clarity. Cure 1. Start your purse to fattening. For every 10 coins thou earnest, spend but 9. That's it. Pay yourself first. If you earn $100, save at least $10 before doing anything else. Forget the "I'll save what's left" mindset, because nothing is ever left. This is the foundation of wealth, habitual saving. Even a cleaner in London or a cashier in Canada can become rich if they consistently save 10% of their income over time. It's not about how much you make. It's about how faithfully you keep a piece of what you earn. Cure 2. Control your expenditures. What each of us calls our necessary expenses will always grow to equal our income, unless we protest to the contrary. This one hits hard. Lifestyle inflation is real. You get a raise and suddenly your phone, your clothes, your food bills all go up. You buy what you can afford, not what you need. But Arkad says, fight back. Write down your expenses, cut the fat. Cancel the subscriptions. Delay the unnecessary upgrades. Don't let your bank balance become a hamster wheel of earning and spending. Cure 3. Make thy gold multiply. The gold we save earns more gold. Welcome to the power of compound interest. Saving is the beginning, but investing, wisely, is what builds wealth. You don't have to be Warren Buffett. Put your money in a mutual fund. Buy stock in companies you understand. Start a side hustle that brings extra cash. Your money is a worker. If it's lying idle in your account, it's unemployed. Let it work while you sleep. Cure 4. Guard your treasures from loss. The first sound principle of investment is security for thy principal. Arkad warned, don't gamble. Don't invest in something just because your friend is doing it. Don't fall for guaranteed returns with zero risk. Don't buy into hype. In today's terms, if someone says you'll triple your money in 10 days, walk away. Smart money is slow money. Secure your gold before chasing more. Cure 5. Make of your dwelling a profitable investment. Own your home. Back then, Arkad encouraged buying a house instead of paying rent forever. Today, that might mean buying a small apartment and renting out a room, turning a spare space into a home office for freelancing, house hacking, or investing in property slowly, smartly. The message is, turn your living space into something that builds value, not drains it. Cure 6. Ensure a future income. Provide in advance for the needs of thy growing age and the protection of thy family. Think retirement. Think security. Think legacy. It's not just about you. It's about protecting your family if life throws the unexpected. Set up emergency savings, a retirement plan, a side stream of income that grows even when you can't work. Think long-term. Think wisely. Cure 7. Increase your ability to earn. The more of wisdom we know, the more we may earn. This is my favorite one. Because your income is tied to your value, and your value is tied to your skills. Learn, read, take online courses, get certifications, master public speaking, grow your business knowledge. Arcad says, become more valuable to the world, and the gold will follow you. Let's say you live in Toronto, earning $2,500 a month. Apply the 7 cures. Save $250. Reduce Netflix, food delivery, impulse buys. Invest $100 a month into index funds. Avoid crypto scams. Rent a cheaper apartment and save the difference. Set up a Roth IRA or pension. Take a free Google course in digital marketing. In 12 months, your financial life will look completely different. Challenge for you this week. Pick just 2 of these 7 cures and apply them this week. Even if it's just saving $20 and tracking your expenses. Start. Small steps, big shifts. Your purse will grow. Your peace will return. And like Arcad, one day, people may come to you for financial wisdom. Chapter 3. The 5 Laws of Gold. Let me ask you a hard question. If I gave you $10,000 today, would you know exactly what to do with it, so that it multiplies instead of disappears? If your answer is, I think so, or maybe, or worse, I'd figure it out later, then this chapter is for you. Because here's what Arcad knew, and what most people never learn. It's not just about having money, it's about keeping it, growing it, and respecting its rules. That's why in this part of the book, he shares the 5 laws of gold, the unchanging truths that separate the rich from the broke, the wise from the wasteful. Let's walk through each one, not like a lecture, but like life-saving advice from a mentor who's already seen it all. Law 1. Gold comes gladly and in increasing quantity to any man who will put by not less than 1/10 of his earnings to create an estate for his future and that of his family. Translation? Save at least 10% of everything you earn, consistently, without excuses. You've heard this before, maybe too many times, but there's a reason. Gold flows toward discipline. It doesn't matter if you earn $500 a month or $5,000. If you don't save any of it, you'll never build wealth. If you save and invest that 10%, even slowly, your financial future becomes secure. A young man in Chicago earns $2,000 a month working at a coffee shop. He sets up an auto transfer to move $200 into a high-yield savings account every payday. In 12 months, he has $2,400. In 5 years, invested wisely, it could double. In 10 years, that simple habit could make him a homeowner. It's not magic. It's math plus consistency. Law 2. Gold labors diligently and contentedly for the wise owner who finds for it profitable employment, multiplying even as the flocks of the field. This law teaches that money must be invested. Gold doesn't just sit in your wallet or bank account. When invested wisely, it becomes a worker, and that worker earns more gold for you, forever. Instead of leaving your savings in a zero-interest account, put part of it in an ETF or index fund, a high-yield crypto stablecoin, only if you understand the risks, a business idea or side hustle, real estate or meats. Let your money have a job. Let it work while you sleep. Law 3. Gold clings to the protection of the cautious owner who invests it under the advice of men wise in its handling. This one is crucial in the digital age. So many people lose money, not by spending, but by investing blindly. Arcad warns, don't take financial advice from broke friends. Don't throw your savings into anything just because someone on TikTok went viral with it. Modern mistake. You see an influencer on Instagram claiming they made $100,000 in 3 months with crypto flips. So, you invest $2,000 without research, without understanding, and lose it all. The gold left your hands because you didn't guard it. Tip: only invest in what you understand. Ask questions. Talk to people who are actually winning, not just posting. Law 4. Gold slips away from the man who invests it in businesses or purposes with which he is not familiar, or which are not approved by those skilled in its keep. This is a deeper version of Law 3. Don't just avoid bad investments. Avoid investments you don't understand. If you've never run a restaurant, don't throw your money into your cousin's amazing restaurant idea unless you've done deep research or partnered with someone experienced. Gold vanishes when handled carelessly. So before you go all in on that new business or course or dropshipping model, ask, do I understand this? Do I have guidance? Do I know the risks? If not, step back. Law 5. Gold flees the man who would force it to impossible earnings, or who follows the alluring advice of tricksters and schemers, or who trusts it to his own inexperience and romantic desires in investment. This law is loud and clear. Don't chase fast money. If someone guarantees 50% returns overnight, it's a scam. If you think you'll retire in 6 months through a secret system, pause. Greed has ruined more people than poverty ever did. Too many people in 2020 to 2022 dumped their life savings into coins they didn't understand, hoping to become millionaires overnight. Most of them lost everything. Gold hates desperation. Gold loves wisdom and patience. Recap: the 5 laws of gold. Save at least 10% of all you earn. Invest your money so it works for you. Get expert advice before investing. Avoid investing in things you don't understand. Don't fall for fast money or emotional investing. Challenge for you: pick one of these 5 laws and apply it starting today. Write it on your mirror. Live by it for 30 days. Because these aren't just rules from an old book. They are the blueprint of every wealthy person you admire. Chapter 4. Meet the Determined Slave. Dabisier's journey from chains to freedom. What does a man do when he has nothing? No home, no savings, no freedom. Not even the right to choose how he spends his day. Most people would give up, but not Dabisier. This chapter tells one of the most inspiring stories in The Richest Man in Babylon. The journey of a slave who used the power of self-discipline and honor to become a free man, and eventually, a wealthy one. This story isn't just for inspiration. It's a roadmap for anyone who's tired of living in debt, feeling stuck, or starting from zero. Dabisier, a man once trusted, then broken by debt. Dabisier wasn't always a slave. He was once a respected camel trader, living comfortably in Babylon. But like many of us today, he lived beyond his means. He borrowed gold he couldn't repay. He ignored the warnings. He told himself, it'll sort itself out. It didn't. His debts piled up. He defaulted, and in time, he lost everything. He fled Babylon, ashamed and hunted by creditors, and was eventually captured by nomads and sold into slavery. Let that sink in. From business owner to property of another man, all because he refused to confront his financial reality. Sound familiar? Modern-day Dabisier is the person with 6 credit cards maxed out. The person hiding bills in a drawer. The person pretending they're fine when they're drowning. But Dabisier didn't stay broken. While in slavery, he served a rich master whose wife noticed something strange. You are not like the others. You have pride in your eyes. Why are you a slave? Dabisier explained his fall from grace, and then she said something that would change everything. A man who cannot govern himself is not worthy of freedom. That sentence pierced him like a sword. He knew she was right. He had blamed the world, blamed his misfortune, blamed his debt, but deep down, he hadn't governed himself. He had no control over his spending, no plan, no honor, and in that moment, he made a decision. I will return to Babylon. I will repay every debt. I will rebuild my name. I will be free again. Dabisier eventually escaped slavery and returned to Babylon. And here's where it gets powerful. He didn't come back with a fortune. He came back with discipline. He created a plan, known in the book as the debt repayment plan. Save 1/10 of all income. Use 7/10 to live. Use 2/10 to repay debts. Consistently. No magic. No shortcuts. Just math, honor, plus repetition. And over time, his debts vanished. His confidence returned. His wealth grew. And so did his reputation. Let's bring this into 2025. Imagine a woman in New York working 2 jobs. She owes $14,000 in credit card debt, feels overwhelmed, and is tired of pretending she's okay. Inspired by Dabisier, she decides every paycheck she saves 10% in a separate account. She writes down every debt she owes, even the embarrassing ones. She starts paying off her smallest debt first, while living within the remaining 70%. A year later, she's paid off $6,000. 2 years later, she's debt-free. Not because she made more money, but because she made better decisions. What this chapter teaches you, you are never too far gone to turn things around. Debt is a chain, but chains can be broken with a plan. Freedom begins with self-control, not more income. Honor matters. When you keep your word, even to yourself, life starts to open up. Your challenge today: write down every debt you owe, no matter how small or embarrassing. Then create your Dabisier plan. Save 10%, live on 70%. Repay debts with 20%. Stick to it for 90 days. Track your progress. You'll be amazed. Where the determination is, the way can be found. This isn't just a quote for your notebook. It's the beginning of a new chapter in your life. Chapter 5. Why Gold Slips Through Fingers. The Mindset of the Broke and the Rich. You've probably seen it happen. Someone climbs out of poverty, starts making money, even begins to thrive. But 5 years later, they're broke again. What happened? Did the economy change? Did bad luck strike? Maybe. But more often than not, the problem wasn't money. It was mindset. In this powerful chapter, the richest man in Babylon shifts focus from saving and investing to self-awareness and internal discipline. Because Arcad knew it is one thing to acquire gold, another to keep it. The poverty mindset versus the wealth mindset. Let's talk real. Some people, no matter how much they earn, still feel broke. They get a raise and upgrade their lifestyle instead of their savings. They receive a bonus and buy liabilities instead of assets. They pay off debt and immediately borrow again. That's not a money problem. It's a pattern problem. And patterns come from mindset. In this chapter, Arcad shares the story of a young bricklayer who inherited a small fortune. Overnight, he was rich. He had plans, dreams, excitement. But instead of following Arcad's principles, he listened to bad advice. He made risky investments. He spent carelessly. He gave gold to friends who never repaid him. And before long, his purse was empty again. He returned to work, poorer in gold, but richer in wisdom. I have learned that gold flees the man who trusts it to the advice of tricksters or uses it to feed foolish desires. It's a hard truth. Money given to someone who hasn't learned to manage it disappears. A 24-year-old man in the UK wins the lottery, £2 million. Within 3 years, he's bankrupt. A 22-year-old college grad in New York lands a $90,000 job. Within 18 months, she's living paycheck to paycheck. What happened? They skipped the mental part of wealth. They didn't build a system to handle success. They were financially rich, but emotionally unprepared. Wealth requires structure. Think of gold like water. It needs a container to hold it, or it will leak away. That container is your financial habits, your budget, your savings rule, your investment strategy, your emotional discipline. Without these, money flows in and out like rain through fingers. Signs you're leaking wealth, even without realizing. You upgrade your phone, car, or wardrobe every time income increases. You don't know how much you spent last month. You keep money in your account just to feel secure, but never assign it a purpose. You borrow from future income, credit cards, to satisfy current cravings. These are habits of someone preparing to be broke. How to lock in the wealth mindset. Arcad gives us this advice. Still gold in 2025, the soul of a free man looks at life as a series of problems to be solved. The soul of a slave whines, "What can I do who is but a slave?" You must take responsibility for your financial direction, even when it's hard. Here's how. Have a system, not a goal, but a daily process. Avoid lifestyle creep. Don't let new income lead to new expenses. Keep learning. Books, podcasts, mentors. Delay gratification. Wealth rewards the patient. Audit yourself monthly. Track spending, savings, and investment growth. Practical tip. The 1-hour rule. Spend 1 hour per week reviewing your finances. Check your income, spending, and net worth. Adjust your goals. Learn something new about money. It's boring at first, but it's transformative. Favorite quote from this chapter: "Opportunity is a haughty goddess who wastes no time with those who are unprepared." That means wealth doesn't just reward the hopeful, it rewards the ready. Weekly challenge. Write down your 3 worst money habits right now. Pick one. Replace it with a wealth habit this week. For example, instead of impulse buying, transfer $10 to your savings. Instead of opening a shopping app, open your budgeting app. Instead of upgrading your tech, upgrade your skill. You don't need more gold to get rich. You need a better relationship with the gold you already have. Chapter 6, Opportunity. How to see and seize it. Opportunity is everywhere, but most people miss it. They're either too afraid, too distracted, or too slow. In ancient Babylon, Akkad taught that opportunity is not just a gift, it is a test. Opportunity is a haughty goddess who wastes no time with those who are unprepared. Think about that. It means the moment you hesitate, the moment you say, "Let me think about it," or "maybe next time," she walks right past you and into someone else's life. Let's talk about how to stop letting that happen. Akkad once told a story of a young brickmaker who had saved a modest amount of gold. He dreamed of making more by investing it in rare jewels with the help of a traveling salesman. Akkad asked him, "Does your friend the seller know about jewels?" "No," said the brickmaker. "He's a soldier." Akkad shook his head. "Would you go to a baker to learn about stars? Then why trust a soldier about jewels?" The opportunity was real, but the decision was misguided. And so the brickmaker lost all his savings. The lesson? Not every door is an opportunity. In today's world, everyone is shouting, "Invest in crypto, start a dropshipping store, buy into this AI project." But most people don't ask, "Do I understand this? Am I prepared for this? Do I have the discipline to follow through?" You see, opportunity rewards the prepared, not the impulsive. Let me show you how real opportunities look in 2025. You're scrolling YouTube and come across a free course on building digital products. You feel a tug to watch it, but you keep scrolling. A friend offers you a small partnership in his bakery business. You've always loved baking, but you second-guess yourself and say, "Maybe next year." You want to start a self-help channel, but you're waiting for the perfect mic or better phone. That hesitation, that's the goddess of opportunity walking past. Opportunity equals preparation plus courage. The biggest lie we tell ourselves is, when the big opportunity comes, I'll be ready. But it's the small steps that prepare you. Learning a skill on weekends, saving consistently, even just $20 per month, practicing discipline when no one is watching. When opportunity shows up, you either rise or you freeze. Akkad's wealth didn't come from luck. It came from recognizing that every gold coin saved, every habit practiced, was preparing him for something greater. Modern parable: 2 men, 1 chance. Man A and Man B are both offered a mentorship with a successful entrepreneur. Man A says, "This is my shot." He rearranges his schedule, shows up every day, takes notes, follows through. Man B says, "Sounds great, but I'm really busy this month." He says he'll start next time. A year later, Man A has built a 5-figure business. Man B is still stuck, waiting for his perfect opportunity. What's the difference? Man A acted. Signs that you're missing opportunities. You overthink every decision. You procrastinate on ideas that excite you. You wait for more money or more time. You get inspired, but never take the first step. Opportunities don't always shout. Sometimes they whisper. Sometimes they feel scary, but behind that fear is usually your next breakthrough. Challenge this week. Train your eyes for opportunity. Write down 3 missed opportunities from your past. Ask yourself, why didn't I act? Now flip it. Write down 3 things you can do this week to prepare for your next opportunity. Learn a new skill. Email someone you admire. Set up your savings account. Launch that small YouTube video. Start writing your ebook or script. Don't wait for perfect. Get in motion. Opportunity is a swift sword. Strike when it passes, or be prepared to watch someone else rise with it. Recap opportunity in 2025. Not every offer is a real opportunity. Filter with wisdom. Preparation makes you ready to seize it. The brave act when the door cracks open. Inaction is the fastest way to poverty. Chapter 7. The lazy man's curse when comfort becomes a trap. Have you ever told yourself, I'll start tomorrow. I just need more time. I don't have the energy today. Be honest, we all have. But when those phrases become a pattern, when days become weeks and weeks become years, we find ourselves in the same spot we swore we'd leave behind. In The Richest Man in Babylon, one of the most haunting lessons comes from a story of a man who blamed fate, made excuses, and ultimately chose comfort over greatness. His name, Sharunada. The story of Sharunada from slave to merchant. Sharunada was once a slave, sold in chains, humiliated and broken. But unlike many, he refused to stay there. He worked tirelessly, he studied, he earned trust, and eventually he became one of the wealthiest merchants in Babylon. One day he was traveling with a young man named Hadan Gula, who happened to be the son of his late business partner. Hadan was soft, arrogant, lazy. He believed wealth was a birthright, not something earned. He scoffed at hard work. He dismissed discipline. On the journey, Sharunada told him stories of how wealth is built through sacrifice, not given by fate. The truth is, the most dangerous place isn't rock bottom. It's that I'm doing okay place, where the job is tolerable, the bills are barely paid, and dreams are constantly pushed to someday. That place where you say, at least I'm not broke. It could be worse. Other people have it harder. That's comfort's trap. It keeps you passive, unmotivated. Comfortable enough not to move, but not fulfilled enough to grow. Modern Charu versus modern Hadan. Imagine 2 young men in London. One grew up poor. He works night shifts, takes free online courses, and puts away 10% of his income. In 5 years, he owns a business. The other grew up in wealth. His parents pay his rent. He scrolls TikTok 6 hours a day, waiting for inspiration. In 5 years, he's still waiting. Sharunada would say, work is the foundation of all fortune. Laziness is a silent thief. 5 signs comfort is robbing your future. You rarely feel urgency to act. You fantasize more than you plan. You're always busy, but never progressing. You avoid discomfort like budgeting, learning, or facing your mistakes. You admire others from afar, but never take your first step. Wealth doesn't hate you. It's just waiting for you to get uncomfortable enough to chase it. People don't just stay broke because of poverty. They stay broke because of procrastination, entitlement, lack of consistency, refusing to start small. Sharunada earned his freedom by working harder than everyone around him, not because he wanted to, but because he knew the alternative was permanent slavery to his excuses. In 2025, we're not sold into chains. We sell ourselves into mental slavery every time we say, I can't. The antidote, purpose and pressure. If you want to break out of laziness, you need 2 things. A clear purpose. Why do you want wealth? Who are you trying to help? What future are you fighting for? Self-imposed pressure. Set deadlines. Tell someone your goals. Give yourself consequences and rewards. Challenge of the week. Write down 3 areas in your life where you've been comfortable but unfulfilled. Choose one and shake it up. Example. If your savings haven't grown in months, open a high-yield account today. If your content creation has been coming soon, upload something within 72 hours. If your learning has stalled, take a 30-minute course this weekend. Comfort is cozy, but greatness lives in discomfort. Words from Sharunada. He who takes no risk earns no reward. He who makes no sacrifice owns no glory. You don't need to be fearless. You need to act, even while afraid. Chapter 8. The Gold Lender of Babylon. How to help without going broke. Have you ever loaned money to a friend or family member and never saw it again? Worse, have you lost the relationship too? This chapter is your healing and your protection. Because the truth is, generosity without wisdom can bankrupt your heart and your finances. In this story, we meet Rodan, a spear maker in Babylon, who received a generous gift of 50 gold pieces from the king for crafting a weapon of great beauty. Ecstatic but inexperienced with wealth, Rodan turns to Mathan, the wise gold lender of Babylon, for advice. Rodan's dilemma. Rodan's sister wants to marry a young man who doesn't yet earn a stable income. She asks Rodan to lend him gold, a dowry, so they can start their life together. Rodan wants to help. He loves his sister. He wants to do what's right. But something inside him hesitates. He asks Mathan, the experienced lender, "Should I lend this gold?" Mathan doesn't give a direct answer. Instead, he tells Rodan something more valuable than gold. If you desire to help thy friend, do so in a way that does not bring thy friend's burdens upon thyself. In other words, be generous without being foolish. The hidden truth about lending. This chapter delivers a hard but freeing truth. Just because someone needs your help doesn't mean they can repay it. Just because someone is family doesn't mean you must risk your future for theirs. Lending money without a plan is not generosity, it's self-destruction. Modern example. A woman in Toronto loans her cousin $3,000 to start a clothing business. No contract, no clear repayment plan, just vibes and trust. 3 months later, the business fails. The cousin avoids her. Now, she's lost her money and her peace of mind. Sound familiar? Mathan's 3 questions before lending. Mathan tells Rodan that gold must be lent only when the borrower has a reliable income source. The borrower has a history of paying back loans. The lender can afford to lose the money without risking his own needs. If all 3 are not true, don't lend. Give if you must, but never call it a loan. Modern rule of lending. If you can't afford to lose it, don't lend it. Helping others is noble, but putting yourself in hardship to save someone who won't change is not generosity. It's sacrifice without strategy. Real talk. Lending can ruin relationships. Money brings up emotions, guilt, ego, shame. So if the borrower delays or defaults, they may start avoiding you. You may start resenting them. The relationship becomes transactional. The better path? Offer help in ways that don't put your own house in danger. Set clear boundaries. Only lend what you can afford to never see again. Sometimes, offer wisdom instead of money. A man in Houston was asked by his brother for a $10,000 loan to fix his life. Instead of saying yes, he said, "I love you, but I can't finance your choices. I'll help you find a financial coach. I'll help you build a plan, but I won't give you a shortcut." His brother got angry, but 6 months later, he came back, stronger, independent, and grateful. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can say is no. Challenge this week. Think of someone in your life who constantly borrows money, time, energy. Ask yourself, am I enabling them or empowering them? What boundary do I need to set? Can I support them in a smarter way? Better a little caution than a great regret. Recap lending with wisdom in 2025. Don't lend to someone who can't repay. Give or say no. Don't lend what you can't afford to lose. Protect your relationships by setting expectations. Be generous, but also be smart. Chapter 9. Arcad's final message. Build wealth that outlives you. You've heard the parables. You've met the slaves, the merchants, the brickmakers, and the kings. But there's one more story. Not about gold, not about debt, not even about opportunity. This one is about what happens after you win. The final gathering with Arcad. Years after becoming the richest man in Babylon, Arcad invited a small group of his former students and family members to his home for a private discussion. They expected new tips, a new strategy, maybe a secret vault of gold. But instead, Arcad looked them in the eyes and asked, "What will become of your wealth after you are gone?" Silence. That's when he shared what truly matters once the gold is earned. Legacy, discipline, wisdom passed down. Because wealth without guidance can ruin the next generation. Arcad shared the story of two brothers. One was taught financial principles from a young age. He was given small gold pieces and taught to save, invest, and give. The other received a large sum of gold at once, but no training, no mentorship, no guardrails. Years later, the first son turned his small purse into a fortune through discipline and slow growth. The second squandered everything: parties, gambling, lavish gifts, and eventually, poverty. Gold without wisdom is soon lost by those who have it. This is not just a parable. It's a mirror to modern families everywhere. In today's world, 70% of wealthy families lose their fortune by the second generation. By the third generation, 90% is gone. Why? Because money without mindset is like giving a sports car to a toddler. It's not a gift, it's a setup for disaster. Arcad's final rules for building enduring wealth: teach what you learn. Share money lessons with your children, siblings, even your friends. Not just numbers. Share why discipline matters. Live within your means, even when you don't have to. The moment you become comfortable is when complacency creeps in. Always stay intentional with your spending. Invest in things that serve others. Gold grows fastest when it flows into businesses and projects that solve problems and help people. Give without weakening. Be generous, but never let your kindness enable laziness. True help empowers people to help themselves. Prepare your affairs. Don't leave chaos behind. Have a will. Teach your family. Leave instructions, not confusion. The ultimate wealth, peace of mind. Arcad reminded them that gold may bring freedom, but wisdom brings peace. He said, "What is the value of riches if they bring no rest to the heart?" And that's the message for your viewers. Yes, we want money. Yes, we need income, investments, and savings. But above all, we need the confidence that we're building a life that matters. A life that doesn't just serve us, but the generations after us. Final challenge: write a one-page financial legacy plan. What do you want to leave behind? Not just money, but habits, values, systems. Who do you want to teach this to before you're gone? What story will your money tell? This isn't about being rich. It's about being intentional. Final takeaways from The Richest Man in Babylon. Start by saving. Always pay yourself first. Learn to control your spending. Make gold work for you through wise investments. Protect your wealth with caution. Own your skills, your time, your mindset. Prepare to give, not just money, but wisdom. Don't just live, build a legacy. A message for 2025 and beyond. You live in a time where opportunity is everywhere, but so is distraction. The true wealth builders are not those who hustle the hardest. They're the ones who stay consistent. Keep learning, give with wisdom, and think long-term. This book may have been written in 1926, but its principles are more powerful today than ever, because what worked in Babylon still works in Boston, Birmingham, and British Columbia. If this audiobook summary inspired you, subscribe for more timeless wisdom. Watch the next video in this series, and most importantly, take action, because nothing changes until you do.